Police emergency lights.
Lady, I don't know. The man is laying out here on the ground. He's hollering help. He's laying out here on the grass.
And what's going on, sir?
The man has been shot.
Do you know who shot him?
Lady, I don't know who shot the man. All I know is that he's been shot. He's laying out here on the dirt. The man could be dead.
Clearlake police rushed to the scene within minutes.
When I'm responding to a call like that, I'm thinking of the safety of myself and my fellow officers. We don't know where the suspect is. We know there's a gun at least in play. We don't know if that subject's still hiding out in the area. If we get into the area and we confront this suspect, I don't know if he's going to turn that gun on me or another officer. As I arrive, I notice some people standing in their driveways and in the roadways. They weren't scared, they weren't running, which led me to believe that this shooter was no longer on scene. So my focus was on the male subject and laying in the front yard. Activate my body camera, so the whole incident is documented.
Are you shot, sir? All right. What's going on? I'm okay.
He seemed to be having like deep labored breaths. He definitely was disorientated and seemed to be having some sort of medical need.
What happened? Do you have any injuries, sir? Why does somebody say he was shot? I'm not seeing the injuries. They're gonna need medical for some odd reason.
Initially when I got there, my focus was, tending to a gunshot victim, and then immediately when I started checking him and couldn't find any blood, any holes, any injuries, several things started going through our mind of, what is actually happening here. So medical was requested to respond to the scene.
Sir, are you all right? What's your name? Steve Galvin. Steve Galvin?
As I approached, I recognized the person, but I could not remember his name. One of the officers asked him for his name, and he repeated his name of Stephen Galvin, and my light bulb went on. I said, I know this guy from prior contacts. Stephen wasn't an angel, but no matter his background, nobody deserves to experience what Stephen was apparently experiencing.
Back at the scene, medics arrived to assess Stephen Galvin. His condition was quickly deteriorating.
What's his name? Stephen. Stephen? Not that we can see. Well, but he's doing this, though. Stephen! Stephen, can we take a look at you? What's going on, partner? Stephen! Wake up for me, partner. What's going on today? Oh. Try not to move around too much, Steve. What is that?
Eventually they find a small, red mark on his bottom, right torso area.
Stephen, can we take a look at you? He's got his backpack here. I think we're okay on the airway. Well, lift your arm up.
Upon further review, they find another small red mark on his back left area.
He's got little puncture-looking wounds. Well, on either side, little tiny wounds that they're looking at. Is this one on the front? Yeah. There's one that on the back side as well. One through? Yeah, it would have to be perfectly through because the extra wound is nothing. And it's not bleeding. There's no blood coming out of it. Sometimes they don't come out.
There was no blood. There was no obvious holes. Sometimes on shootings, there's quite a bit of bleeding, bullet holes, exit wounds, some sort of a trauma. And not always does that happen. In this case, it was not obvious. initially that there was any type of wound on this male. So at that point, I'm overly concerned because we're trying to paint the picture of what actually happened in the little bit of time frame that we have, because we don't know what's going on.
Officers leaned in, trying to speak with Stephen, hoping he could reveal who did this to him before it was too late.
Hey, Stephen? Stephen, who did this to you?
Far enough away.
Cyclops?
It wasn't really clear what he said, and I said, Cyclops? He goes, yeah, Cyclops. That's David Cox, a person with a street name of Cyclops. He had some very distinctive tattoos, had a somewhat violent background. He was on parole, had recently moved to Clearlake. Based on the totality of the circumstances, it gave me a reasonable belief or probable cause to send officers start locating David.
While officers were preparing to search for David, their top priority was getting Stephen to the hospital, fast. If there was any chance to save him, it had to be now.
So, shooting, possible stabbing here on 35th. They're going to end up flying this guy out. He was either...
With Stephen rushed to the hospital, the focus shifted. Now it was all about finding David. He was an open threat, unpredictable and dangerous, capable of harming anyone at any time. Taking him into custody wasn't just important, it was urgent.
How's it going? Just want to ask you a few questions about what you saw.
I heard the shots. I was watching when I heard 2 shots. Then I heard the guy hollering, somebody help me. And I just happened to see the tail end of a white truck as it passed by my truck there.
So not only were we looking for David, we were also looking for a white truck associated with him. Because if they're mobile, then, you know, they literally could be anywhere.
As officers pressed forward with their investigation, the call came in. Bad news. Stephen Galvin had succumbed to his injuries at the hospital. The case was no longer an assault. It was now a homicide.
It was determined that he died to a single gunshot wound to his abdomen.
Seeing situations like this that Stephen was in is tough. It's tough. It's tough for me. Stephen died alone in the hospital. There was no family. There was nobody there. He was placed into a body bag for evidentiary purposes. That's sad. I mean, that's a sad way to end one's life. Stephen had hopes and dreams, and, you know, in the end, he wasn't able to fulfill those, and it's a sad ending. Because ultimately we want to protect, and in this particular case, we couldn't save Stephen.
Before his death, Stephen managed to speak a single name, Cyclops. Now, officers had a suspect. They moved fast, heading straight to his last known address.
Our focus now, let's find David. So we started surveilling one of his residences, which was in another part of town. So there's a lot of unknowns when we go into a situation like this.
I got a canine outside.
We had our weapons drawn. We believe that David was possibly armed, and we don't know what we're walking into. Are we walking into an ambush? Is he waiting for us? Does he know we're coming? There's a lot of emotions going through you. You're nervous about what you're about to encounter.
Ma'am, can you come on out here? So talk to the ex-girlfriend?
Yeah.
Okay, is David here?
No.
Nobody's here? Just you?
Yes.
Okay. You mind if I check the house? I'm sure nobody else is in there? Okay.
Whenever you enter a home,
K-9 units and officers cleared the entire house, room by room, but found no sign of David inside. With no suspect in sight, they turned to the next possible lead, David's ex-girlfriend.
Well, we need to talk about something.
once we were back outside, myself and Sergeant Joseph spoke with David's ex-girlfriend, trying to get further information of possible, does she know where David was, or any information we can gather from her to move on.
I do, but I don't want to give it.
Okay. If you, I'll tell you right now, if you interfere in our investigation, I will arrest you.
Okay, well, I
Okay,
called him.
it's a serious crime.
And the last time I called it was a... What?
It's a homicide that we're working right now. That's why I have the gun out. So you right now do not want to get in the middle of it, okay? All right, what's his number? We're gonna be wiretapping all these phones and stuff. So my suggestion is you don't call him, communicate with him. I would suggest avoiding him until we have him.
Possible suspect in
Yeah.
homicide and murder. That's why we're here with guns and dogs.
So what's his number?
When we're conducting an investigation, it's always a balancing act, trying to put enough pressure on people without giving too much of our information out. And in this particular case, when I told her the seriousness of the crime, that we had a shooting, I think she realized the seriousness of what we were investigating and became a little bit more cooperative with us. And she gave me his phone number and gave me an address where he was possibly at the moment in another part of the city.
The address provided by David's ex-girlfriend led officers to the other side of the city. They moved in quickly. The hunt for David was back on.
The Clearlake Police Department, you are surrounded. Residents in the home, we have K-9 here. K-9 will be deployed inside the residence.
I'm looking for someone who has obviously no care about human life. Now I'm the threat to them. I'm what's going to prevent them from being able to be free. So the danger level for something like that is extremely high, and the propensity of violence is just, astronomical.
Residents in the home, this is the last and final warning. This is the Clearlake Police Department. We are now ordering you each out of the residence. We know that there's at least 4 subjects in the home, maybe more. We will be deploying a K-9 into the residence. Residents in the home, we believe that one of you or multiple persons may be armed.
The things that go through my head at that time are they preparing themselves to have a shootout? Are they arming themselves? Are they holding people hostage? Yeah, it's like a jack-in-the-box. As the crank's going, you're just waiting for it to open.
Movement, come on with your hands! Come on with your hands up, you were considered on!
Well, David finally comes out of the house. As he comes out, he has his arms extended. We start giving him commands. He looked at us and just nodded as if he knew exactly what was going on.
Back. Get up. Over here. Good.
Asking it was unreadable.
What you guys think I did, but I don't know why you guys think that.
Help you, David. Okay.
Hey. You're not going to take me to jail on assumption, right?
Finally, David was taken into custody. Officers brought him to the station for further questioning. But getting answers wouldn't be easy.
Did somebody actually get hurt? I don't know, man. I don't know what happened, but I heard on staff. They said David Cox, tattoos on face, from without a gun. Do you know that? Other than that, I don't know. but I know that I heard somebody got killed over there, right?
Oh, that's news to me.
Oh my God, if that's it, I'm like freaking out, you know what I mean? Oh.
David seemed like he was a very intelligent man. He had lots of street smarts and had been exposed to the criminal justice system. He was, quite adamant about trying to find out facts of the case and different various details. But as standard practice, we do not release information to any witnesses as to prevent any cross-contamination.
Yep. Oh.
After everything, the hardest part still remained. It was time for officers to break the news of Stephen's death to the people who cared about him.
Before I was able to even speak to Stephen's mother to get information of who Stephen associated with and why this may have occurred to him, she ended up unfortunately passing away. So, I got a chance to speak to Stephen's girlfriend. She didn't know what had happened. She didn't know what Stephen's condition was.
Now, can I know about something?
I know you. I know that you're not going to have to go through all this again, right? It's not going to work.
Oh my God.
Having to tell people that someone's dead that they care about is not easy for an officer. It's not easy for me. I try to remember that when I'm doing my job, I don't have to do my job.
As Stephen's girlfriend mourned his death, detectives pushed ahead with the investigation, determined to find the real killer.
At that time, David was currently in custody at the station, and then we were approached by another person that we had detained, and he wanted to speak to us about the incident.
Now, I was advised that you had some information and some concerns. What are your concerns?
I just reserve my safety.
For what?
For anything. Just getting this from talking to you guys.
Well, what do you know?
Huh?
What do you know?
Well, I know he didn't do it.
Who didn't do what?
It's my Cyclops.
Okay, Cyclops didn't do what?
For anything.
It was definitely I don't want to say a shock, but a turn in the case.
Okay, so can you say that David never left the house for sure?
No, I left earlier. I said I left, and I've got about 25 minutes. He was with me.
He was with you?
Now we have a real conflicting statement with what the victim had said during the dying declaration, and now the suspect and now a prime witness saying that no, he was with him. He didn't commit this crime. So it's really hard to gauge on who's telling the truth. But we were leaning more towards that there was potentially something wrong with the investigation or identification of the suspect.
So playing the games here is not helping you.
I'm not playing no games.
I want to know what happened today. It's just you know the name of the person.
I do know this.
Okay, who did it? And how do you know this?
You're going to protect me.
So after several minutes of speaking with him, he was quite adamant that David was not responsible for the killing of Stephen. Now we potentially have another person out there that hasn't been identified. We quickly realized that this was not going to be an open and closed shut case.
Now, it was time to speak with David directly, to hear his side, and see if the truth would finally start to surface.
Listen.
Okay, I woke up this morning to my grandmother's knock on the bedroom door at around approximately 8:30. That was to get my ass up, and then we went back to my mom's house. Okay, hung out for a little bit, ate a bowl of cereal. All right, when we were done with that,
Okay, you went to what?
mom's house on Maple.
Okay.
I never left there. Can I know what's going on now?
From talking with David, he is very adamant that he doesn't know what he is in custody for, that he wasn't involved in it. He knew Stephen, but left it very generic of how he knew who Stephen was.
I think I know what's going on, but I don't want to say something that I don't know what's going on, and you haven't told me.
Not how this works. Okay, I'm investigating probably something pretty.
I know it's probably pretty serious. I heard.
Absolutely pretty serious. Why would it be the fact that the last words that I get out of T-Bone?
I agree.
When I ask him who, he says Cyclops.
I can't believe that guy did.
Look at me. Why would the last words out of his mouth be your name?
I think he just assumed. I can't answer for him.
Crocodile tears don't work for me, man.
I can't answer for him. I can't believe this.
David became very anxious at this point, and for me to see a grown man who is supposed to be this big thug criminal start crying, I made it very clear to him that that wasn't going to dissuade me in my efforts in solving this crime.
I didn't just pick you out of the hat.
I know that.
The only person that in this town was the name Cyclops.
Are you guys not denying that? I'm not denying any of that.
You look at I'm going to jail when I leave this room with murder charges.
That's insane.
Okay.
And I knew that. Okay.
David, look at it from our side.
I know. I'm going to jail. I know it.
So if you have anything to tell me to be able to save you from that, you need to tell me.
I don't.
Knowing my history with David and knowing his history, it was clear that there was a high potential that he was lying to me. So now I need to take that information that he's given me and either prove or disprove what he told me.
The case was growing more complicated by the hour, and answers were slipping through the cracks. To gain more clarity, detectives circled back to David's ex-girlfriend, hoping she held the missing piece.
I'd been in contact with David's ex-girlfriend. She had found out that maybe it wasn't David who pulled the trigger and shot Stephen, and was willing to provide me information regarding this.
I talked to you on the phone, and you said, you made the comment that you went and talked to people and found out that David wasn't the one that did this. Okay. So can you point me in the right direction then?
I'm not saying anything to nobody. Talking about nobody even knows that I know.
I get that. Let me explain this real simple to you, okay? If what you're telling me is the truth, I need you to be extremely forthcoming in this, okay?
I just want to spit the name out, but I'm so afraid.
David's ex-girlfriend, she was very nervous, and it was clear that she was scared for her safety. Now this is another person telling me David didn't do this. So it was extremely important that I get this name from her so I can get this person off the street and make sure that the rest of the public is safe.
Let me explain this to you. If you have information, I need that information because it's the difference between his freedom and not his freedom, his life and not his life.
I know that. Now, honestly, oh God, it's just Billy Mount.
Billy Mount?
I've had contact with Billy in the past. He has a quite lengthy criminal history of violence, and he's not very law enforcement friendly or cooperative. He really threw this investigation into a real difficulty if, was Billy the trigger man? David's ex-girlfriend mentioned that she actually saw Billy earlier that day at the house on Maple.
Billy was at what house? Maple House?
Yeah.
What time was that?
And it was right before they all left.
David and Billy left together?
No.
Or just David and Billy?
Billy left with a white truck.
Okay.
When Billy left, I don't have no idea. Man, I wish I could. When Billy left, they pull out and we're driving. I was totally rude. I'm like, hey, you don't have to be so rude, you little junkie.
Who's that?
I don't know. He's the driver. I've never seen him.
It was clear that David's ex-girlfriend believed Billy Mount was the person who murdered Stephen Galvin.
With new information from David's ex-girlfriend, officers were able to track down Billy Mount and bring him in for interrogation.
in a while.
Yes.
I told Billy essentially that he's being named in this investigation as being involved.
There's people that are trying to dime you out. Okay, as a person that did.
Yeah, okay, whatever.
So, I understand that. That's why, and I'll tell you right now.
I didn't hurt nobody.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Billy is very arrogant, very confrontational. He makes statements that it's because people hate him that they're naming him and they're trying to frame him, essentially trying to dissuade me from believing that he's involved in this at all.
We're going to start at the beginning of your day and just work our way through. Okay?
I've been there for the past week.
You haven't left your brother's house?
I have not left my brother's house the last week. So.
At this point, I have nothing to corroborate anybody's statement, including his. Because from talking to David's ex, Billy was lying. She said she saw Billy over at the house on Maple the day the murder happened.
Well, I'm getting tired of getting interrogated right now. I want to be arrested for it now. I want to see the trial. I want work, you know what I mean?
The more I challenged him, the more upset and angry he got. And finally, he at some point said, if you're going to charge me, and that he wanted a lawyer. I have to be able to provide that to him before I can continue any further interview.
With no solid evidence or reliable witnesses, the case was slipping away. But then, a breakthrough. A woman called the police, revealing that her son was involved in the killing, and wanted to come forward.
And I get a phone call from a lady who tells me that her son was involved in the killing of Stephen and that he wants to come forward. He's a very timid guy and doesn't really have a violent background or much of a criminal history. He didn't want anything to do with this. He wanted to distance himself as much as possible. He knew that he didn't do it and figured that we were going to be looking for him.
Before you got to the house on Vista, where were you?
I was at my house.
So you wake up, you drive where? Or what's the first thing you do when you wake up?
I called my friend, and he asked me if I could help him get a beer.
Okay. Then what?
And I said, okay. I said, I'll help you get a beer.
And you drive a white Chevy
S10. 2000. The year is 2000. Year, make, and model 2000 Chevy S10.
Now that the witness came forward, I don't need to find a white truck because I have the driver of the truck. It matches the description provided by all the witnesses, and it was clear that it was involved in this case.
Were you by yourself?
I by myself, yes.
Did you go anywhere prior to that?
To the Shell station to get him a beer.
Okay.
So we were sitting in the room drinking a beer, and Billy said, I'll give you a half a gallon of gas. You give me a ride to my friend's house. So he siphoned the gas out of his truck. I just put it in my tank, and I gave Billy a ride.
At this point, everything is now leading me to Billy. So I asked him, can you show me where you first met Billy, where you drove him, and where you ended up when you last saw Billy that day? And he agreed to go with me.
Here, this is what we're going to do, okay? As we approach where this happened, I want you to have me do everything you did.
So he told me, turn right here. And as soon as I turned right here, he said right up here, it seemed like it was right in the drive up here by this driveway where the fence is, right up here. Right where this blue garbage can, somewhere right around this driveway right here.
You stopped here?
It was somewhere right around here, yeah, like right here, the next house. Said pull over, and the guy was walking right here, and the guy looked at me through the windshield, walked this way. And as soon as I looked over at Billy, he pulls the gun out and shoots the guy 2 times. He said drive. So I drove.
You drove.
Yeah, and I heard the guy cry in pain when he got shot, so I knew he hit it.
Here? Mm-hmm. Okay. Somewhere in there on the right-hand side somewhere is where you supposedly hit the guy. Yeah. Right.
I ended up walking over and I saw a culvert right on the edge of the road. It was one of those, I'm going to look just because. And I reached my hand in, pulled out a bag that ultimately had the firearm. I had the firearm sent to the Department of Justice for latent print and DNA processing. Some of the what they call tandem repeats matched Billy Mount. And then I dusted the truck for any fingerprints. And CD had been found inside the truck. The CD case actually had Billy's fingerprint on it. So now I have physical evidence showing this happened. In that moment, when I had the firearm, I had the truck, I knew that Billy Mount was the one who did this.
Based on the testimony and new evidence, Billy Mount was officially charged with the murder of Stephen Galvin. But one question still lingered. Why? The motive behind Stephen Galvin's murder was never fully uncovered. After a 2-month trial, the jury found Billy Mount guilty of second-degree murder. He was sentenced to life in prison, with the possibility of parole. Justice was served, but a life was still lost. Stephen Galvin's story ended in tragedy, and no verdict could ever bring him back.